Without spoiling anything for any new readers, how would you describe the book?
I mean, it's a story about loneliness, right? It's a story about the feeling that we have, whether we're 16 or 30 or 75, like our life is passing us by too quickly, and we're afraid that we're never going to get it back. So it's the story of a young woman who has those fears and is seeing the last shreds of her independence be taken from her. And so she makes a deal with the devil. Not even, it's not that she wants to live forever, but she wants time. She wants opportunities to live and to have experiences. And so in her recklessness, she asks the devil to live forever. And he grants her the gift and then curses her to be forgotten by everyone she meets.
It's a very peculiar protagonist. She was the first thing that came with the story, or it was something that it evolved with it? And how was your first ideas of her, and how did it evolve?
So I wanted to write an immortal, eternally young, but aging inside, who is forgotten, and to see the different ways that that would work. So that was kind of the original idea. But the fascinating thing is that Addie herself changed completely. Because when I first started writing her, I thought she would be like every other immortal character, have a kind of like existential ennui. Like she would just be tired. She would have done it all and seen it all and had sex with everybody and eaten everything. But the thing is, I realized because the terms of Addie's deal will only end when she gives up, I couldn't create her as the kind of person who would ever give up. So I ended up having to completely invert my idea of who Addie should be and make her eternally optimistic, the kind of person who wouldn't give in. Because I think so many times in these Faustian bargains and in vampire, immortality tales, they're tired. They would love to give up. They just can't bring themselves to do it, right? But she's constantly being offered a way out. So I had to create her the kind of person that wouldn't say yes to that.
When I read a book, I'm always intrigued about the titles. It's one of the first things that caught my attention. So how this title came to become the
it was
title
always
the
the title. So 10 years ago, it was like the blank life of Addie Larue. I couldn't figure out what the word was going to be. And then like the immortal life of Henrietta Lacks came out, and I was like, so it's not going to be immortal. And then I was thinking through things, and probably like 7 or 8 years ago, I had the title. But then I knew I had always wanted a really long book title so that it could take up the whole cover. Like I wanted one of those titles that just took up the entire cover. So I have a lot of books with shorter titles, 1 word, 2 word titles. But for me, this was like, I'm going to get the longest title. Like I just want a long title. Give me my long title. So I knew from the beginning I was going to have a long title. And I knew for almost the entire time what that title was going to be.
And why invisible then? Why did you choose that word?
Yeah, I mean, it felt right because I think it's the thing that she fears most. Like she's not a ghost, but she often feels like a ghost. And she's not invisible, but she's forgotten. But at the same time, I didn't want to use words like forgotten or forgettable because the entire point of the narrative is that she's not. Like that's the entire point is that she finds a way to not be either of those things, but she is still in the narrative itself largely invisible, especially like when we look at her in art, right? She inspires things, but she isn't physically present in them. So she's the invisible artist, right? She's the invisible historian. She's the invisible witness. She's there, but in retrospect, we can't see her.